Okay, well, do you understand about functional alignment? And do you understand difference between functional alignment and kinematic alignment? So in summary, functional alignment is based on gap balancing. On the other hand, kinematic alignment is based on the major reception, resurfacing. So that is the difference. So now there are so many types of kinematic and functional alignment so far. So this is the one case is the inverse kinematic alignment. That is based on the tibia cut. So like the true gap balancing technique, cut the tibia first to make tibia cutting plane and cut the femur to make the balance gap. It is quite similar to gap balancing technique in mechanical alignment. The difference is in the gap balancing technique, tibia plateau is cut perpendicular to tibia axis. But in both kinematic alignment, cut the tibia parallel to the joint line. That is the difference. Then cut the femur parallel to the tibia cutting plane. And in the same time, in the flexion, tibia cut, femur cut parallel to the tibia cutting plane. Well, that's a similar procedure, gap balancing technique, but differences again, both tibia and femur cut are not mechanical perpendicular to the tibia axis and femur axis. That is the difference. So in gap balancing, the both cut are perpendicular to the tibia axis in the gap balancing, classical gap balancing case. So that is the difference. So of course, for this cut is made using a robot. So in a similar to similar to the functional alignment. But functional alignment, so cutting plane decided before the bone cut, after the intraoperative measurement of the gap balancing. Of course, it can be evaluated again intraoperatively after the femur cut, and then measure the laxity again intraoperatively and decide or readjust the tibia cutting plane. That is possible. But basically, functional alignment decides both femur and tibia cutting planes before bone cuts. But in both kinematic alignment, to cut the tibia, then evaluate the gap and decide the femur cutting plane. In other words, so tibia-based functional alignment. Maybe I think this is a more accurate naming because this is cutting in this inverse kinematic alignment, the cutting planes are decided based on the gap balancing. Okay, do you understand? But the name kinematic alignment basically the major research. So precisely accurately, my personal think about this naming is best. Tibia-based functional alignment makes the tibia cutting plane. But this policy is completely different between the kinematic alignments. As I explained before, in the kinematic alignment, decide tibia cutting plane first, so-called cylindrical axis in the cutting the same thickness and distal femur and posterior. So anyway, kinematic alignment aim to restore the rotation axis of the tibia around the cylindrical axis on the femur. So they say kinematic alignment is femur-driven technique. But this one is tibia-based, tibia-driven approach. So that is a little bit different principle from the kinematic alignment. Anyway, so this is very, very reasonable because so tibial cutting plane can be decided. Only the posterior slope and the medial slope only. But in the femur side, we should decide both distal and posterior. There are two variables in terms of femur side, but tibial side is only one. Right? Anyway, so I don't know which is better or not. And this is different ball cutting. In the other hand, in the same procedure is made by femur first technique. They cut the femur, so in the same thickness as the component in the both distal and posterior. After that, evaluate the gap using a robot and decide the tibial cutting. So femur first, the kinematic alignment, functional alignment, and tibia first, functional alignment. And through functional alignment, decide before the bone cuts. Anyways, so that are a little bit different. Tibia first, femur first, or planning first. And in the same time, so how to find this best cutting plane on the screen in the functional alignment technique. There are two ways to find the best cutting planes. The first is the mechanical start. Set the component in the mechanical alignment, so perpendicular to the tibial and femur axis, and adjust their cutting plane to make the balance gap. That is the mechanical start technique. The other technique is the kinematic start technique. So the first components are set parallel to the line. Then adjust the cutting plane to make the balance gap. So eventually, to the final goal of two approaches came to the same area. So mechanical start and kinematic start doesn't matter maybe. Anyway, so that is the functional alignment, inverse kinematic alignment, and tibia base. Femur first functional alignment. So maybe theoretically there are three ways to adjust the cutting plane in the functional alignment groups. And so there are so many types of kinematic alignment, functional alignment, inverse kinematic alignment. That is the contrast to the mechanical alignment. So I frequently repeat it again and again. Mechanical alignment aim for the only one goal, single goal, straight leg, and perpendicular placement of components, and balanced gap. The single goal. Every effort have been concentrated to make sure this ideal goal. Okay, this is the current situation. But even for now, so many surgeons aim to this ideal goal. But now, so this contrast is a personalized alignment. The personalized alignment aim to the personalized leg alignment if the patient has neutral constitutional platelet alignment, just restore the patient native alignment and restore the patient native joint line obliquity and the patient native gap balancing. maybe in the straight, in the gap is nearly parallel, but infraction is a lateral open. But this degree of lateral open can be changed among the patient. So this is the difference. So to summarize these approaches, including kinematic alignment, functional alignment, inverse kinematic alignment, is summarized by personalized alignment. This is the goal in this approach. Goal is the patient-specific goal. So roughly saying, so in the personal alignment, there are two approaches. Maybe you can understand. The first one is restore the patient native anatomy, patient native morphology, and patient native leg alignment. So resurfacing, restore the patient disease condition. This is the kinematic alignment group. Another one, the functional group. Because at the time of surgery, soft tissue situation can be changed from the native situation, such as MCL shortening, lateral side looseness, and ACL answer PCL sacrifice. The soft tissue situation is different from the patient native situation. So to adjust the component alignment based on the gap balancing. Eventually, after the functional alignment, gap balancing can be adjusted. Because that is the aim of the functional alignment approach. Anyway, it is same. So the goal is different. So we need to compare which is better, mechanical or personalized. And at the same time, we within the personal alignment approaches, we need to compare which is better, functional, kinematic, inverse kinematic, or a normal functional alignment. So we need to compare so many. So a little devastating situation, but we need to understand which approach we are taking. So in this hospital, basically restricted kinematic parameter, RKA, so-called. So because my personal impression is so I can see the alignment and the morphology by my eyes. But soft tissue is very, very flexible and changeable. I don't find the reliability on the soft tissue so much. It can be changed by slightly detach or recut. After the slightly recut, the balance can be changed dramatically sometimes. So anyway, I can see the bone, so I want to confident on the bone rather than the soft tissue. But that is my impression. Some surgeons rely on the soft tissue. Anyway, that is which is true or not. It's not true or not, but the surgeon philosophy or surgeon familiarity maybe. Anyways, so patient specific. The goal we need to individual goal for each patient. It's better. Anyway, so currently the contrast term on mechanical alignment is kinematic alignment. But as I explained several times, the kinematic alignment is basically measured resection. aiming for resurfacing, restore the patient native joint line using the components. So we need more comprehensive naming. So that is a personalized alignment, mechanical and personalized alignment. It includes true kinematic alignment, restricted kinematic alignment, functional, inverse KA, adjusted mechanical means the cut tibial perpendicular to the tibial axis. But in terms of femur cut, a slight varus is accepted around plus minus 3 degrees. A mild restricted major reflection. So that might be very flexible, but it can be the group of personalized alignment because this adjust mechanical does not aim for the ideal single ball, but it allows a slight variation of alignment. But basically, tibial side should be public. That is a mechanical alignment. But so other than true kinematic alignment, we required some computer-aided devices because they require the precise control of the alignment or gap balance. It is virtually impossible using mechanical instruments or robot or PSI. Or so even we can use the handy type navigation or handy type robots. So anyway, so without such computer devices, we can do the true kinematics and soft tissue respecting kinematic alignments. That is very, very popular in Japan. So that is cut is made but parallel to the femur cutting line, cutting a distal femur and disrupt and draw the line parallel to the distal femur cutting line, and then decide the particular level parallel to the drawn cutting lines, or insert femur trial after the finalize of the femur cut and apply valgus stress and measure medial slope, medial space using the spoon. Then cut the tibia. So with the difference of the spoon. And that is a soft tissue respecting approach. And that also does not require computer-aided devices, but unfortunately, there are few published papers so far, but very, very popular. And many Japanese surgeons misunderstand that this soft tissue restricting, in other words, so cutting frame decided based on the gap balancing is a true kinematic calibrated kinematic balance. But that is a misunderstanding. Anyways, most personal alignment requires computer devices. Okay. So, だいぶ来てしまった。ごめんなさい。行ってきてください。I'm sorry. So, I couldn't find my time. Sorry. Okay, next week.
インバースのキネマティックアライメントのティビア